The alarms had been screaming for 3 hours. Park Do-yoon pressed his hand against the wound on his side and watched the screams. Blood seeped through his fingers. The pain was bad, but he had stopped caring about it. Station Gamma 7 was dying. Half the crew was already dead. The other half was trying to survive in the broken parts of the station that still had air. Rescue ships were coming, but they were 18 hours away. They would arrive too late. On a main screen, the Valari flagship emerged from hyperspace. It was massive, shaped like a curved blade, painted in deep red and black. The ship was called the Crimson Dawn, and everyone in the human fleet knew its name. They knew its commander 2.Yun Hana, the Collector. She had destroyed more human ships than any other Valari commander. But she was famous for something else. Before she killed her enemies, she gave one of them a wish. Anything they wanted. Some said she did this to study humans. Others said she was simply cruel and enjoyed watching them beg. The communication screen flickered. A cold voice filled the dying station. "This is Commander Yun Hana of the Valari Empire. Your station is broken. Your weapons are dead. Your people are dying. I will destroy what remains in 1 hour. Before that, I offer my tradition. One of you may come to my ship. One of you may speak a wish. I will grant it, if it is within my power. Who will come?" The survivors looked at each other. Nobody moved. Do-yoon pushed himself up from his seat. His legs were weak. His vision was blurry. But he was the highest-ranking officer still alive. "I will go," he said into the communication system. There was a pause. Then Hannah's voice returned, softer now, almost curious. "Very well, human. Prepare for transport." White light surrounded Do-yoon. When it faded, he was no longer on the station. He stood in a chamber made of black stone. The ceiling was so high he could not see it. Floating lights drifted through the air like slow fireflies. The room was cold and silent and beautiful in a terrible way. And there she was. Yun Hana stood at the center of the chamber. She was tall, much taller than any human, perhaps 7 feet. Her skin was pale violet, smooth like polished marble. Her eyes were silver with no pupils, and they reflected the floating lights like mirrors. Her hair was white and long, falling past her shoulders. She wore armor that seemed alive. It was dark metal that shifted and moved like liquid, covering her from neck to feet. Symbols were carved into it, glowing faintly with blue light. She looked like a goddess of war, ancient and cold and untouchable. Do-yoon had never seen anything so frightening. He had also never seen anything so beautiful. "You are wounded," Hana observed. Her voice was different in person, deeper, more real. "You are dying, perhaps. And yet you came. Why?" "To buy time," Do-yoon admitted. He saw no reason to lie. "Every minute I spend here is another minute my people survive." Hana tilted her head slightly. The movement was strange, not quite human. "Honest, that is unusual. Most humans lie when they come here. They pretend to be brave when they are afraid. You admit your fear and your purpose openly. I am too tired to lie." Something changed in her silver eyes. Interest, maybe? Or something close to it. "Speak your wish, human," she commanded. "I have granted many wishes over the years. Wealth for families left behind. Quick deaths instead of slow ones. The lives of crew members. Once, a human asked me to sing a song from his childhood. I did not know it, but I learned it for him." She paused. "Your kind is predictable. You always want the same things. Safety, comfort, survival." Do-yoon looked at her. His mind was foggy from blood loss. His thoughts were scattered and strange. He should ask for his crew to be spared. He should ask for the station to be left alone. He should be smart and tactical and brave. But something else came out of his mouth. Maybe it was the blood loss. Maybe it was the way she looked at him, like he was a puzzle she wanted to solve. Maybe it was because she was the most magnificent thing he had ever seen, and he was going to die anyway, so nothing mattered anymore. "You," Do-yoon said. "I want you." The floating lights stopped moving. The chamber became completely silent. Hana stared at him. For the first time, her cold expression cracked. Her silver eyes widened. Her lips parted slightly. She looked shocked, genuinely shocked, as if he had said something impossible. "What did you say?" she whispered. Do-yoon's heart was pounding. He realized what he had done. Panic flooded through him. "Wait, I did not mean. You spoke your wish." Hana's voice was strange now, softer than before. Her hands moved to her armor. There were clasps at her shoulders, hidden in the shifting metal. She pressed them. Click, click, click. The shoulder plates fell away, clattering on the black stone floor. Beneath them was bare skin, pale violet, covered in thin white scars that formed patterns like writing. "What are you doing?" Do-yoon stepped back. "I did not mean it like that. I was confused. I am bleeding. I was not thinking clearly. No human has ever asked for me." Hana continued removing her armor. The chest plate came loose. More scars beneath, more patterns. They asked for things, objects, people, mercy, power, but never me. Never the monster herself. "You are not a monster." The words came out before Do-yoon could stop them. Hana froze, her hands still on her armor. "You do not know what I am," she said quietly. "No," Do-yoon agreed. "But I know what a monster looks like. I have seen humans do terrible things to each other. You are not a monster. You are a soldier." Hana was silent for a long moment. Then she did something unexpected. She smiled. It was a small smile, barely there, gone almost as soon as it appeared. But it changed her entire face. For 1 second, she did not look like a cold goddess of war. She looked almost human. "You are strange," she said. "I think I will keep you alive. For now." Do-yoon watched as the last pieces of Hana's armor fell to the floor. She stood before him in simple gray cloth, a tunic, and loose pants. Without the armor, she looked smaller, though she was still much taller than him. The scars on her arms told stories he could not read. "You do not understand what you have done," Hana said. She was not angry. Her voice was calm, almost gentle. "Among my people, armor is everything. It is identity. It is rank. It is the wall between ourselves and the universe. To remove it before another person is the deepest act of trust." Do-yoon's head was spinning. From blood loss or confusion, he could not tell. "I did not know." "Of course you did not. You are human. You know nothing of us." Hana walked toward him slowly. Up close, he could see details he had missed before. Faint blue veins beneath her violet skin. Small silver marks near her eyes that might have been tattoos or natural patterns. But ignorance does not change the law. "You asked for me. I began the removal. By the ancient codes of my people, we are now bound." "Bound? Like married?" Hana made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Marriage is a human concept. This is different, deeper. Among the Valari, bonding is forever. It cannot be undone by words or distance or even death. You are mine now, Park Do-yoon of the human species. And I am yours." Do-yoon sat down heavily on the cold floor. His legs would not hold him anymore. "This is insane, perhaps." Hana knelt beside him. Her movements were graceful, like water flowing. "I cannot kill you now. I cannot let you be killed. Our laws are very clear. If you die, part of me dies with you. This is the price of bonding. And if you die, then part of you dies with me." Hana studied his face. "You are truly confused. This amuses me. Most humans who come before me are terrified. They cry or beg or try to bargain. You simply look lost. I am lost, Do-hyun admitted. I came here to die. I thought you would hear my wish, laugh at me, and then destroy the station. I did not expect this. Neither did I. They sat in silence for a moment. The floating lights continued their slow dance above them. Somewhere in the distance, Do-hyun could hear the hum of the ship's engines. Your wound needs treatment, Hana finally said. I will have my doctors attend to you. What about my people? The station? Hana was quiet. Then she stood and walked to a panel on the wall. She pressed it, and a screen appeared, showing the broken shape of Gamma 7. Your station is dying. There is nothing I can do to save it. But I can save the survivors. 37 humans remain alive. I will have them transported to escape pods and sent toward your rescue ships. Do-hyun stared at her. Why would you do that? Because you are bound to me now. Your happiness matters to me, whether I want it to or not. This is the curse of bonding. She turned back to him, her silver eyes unreadable. Do not mistake this for kindness. I am still your enemy. My empire is still at war with your species. Nothing has changed except everything. Over the next few hours, Do-hyun learned more about the Velari than any human had learned in 12 years of war. Hana's doctors healed his wound with technology that seemed like magic. They closed the hole in his side with light and sound, and when they were done, there was not even a scar. Hana watched the entire process, standing in the corner of the medical room like a guardian. Later, she took him to her personal quarters. The room was sparse and simple, nothing like the grand chamber where they had first met. A bed, a desk, a window showing the stars. That was all. You expected something different, Hana observed. I expected more. More is for display. This is for living. She sat on the edge of the bed. Ask your questions. I can see them building in your mind. Do-hyun sat in the only chair. Why you grant wishes? The real reason. Hana was silent for a long time. When she spoke, her voice was distant, like she was talking about someone else. I was taken from my family when I was very young. The Empire chose me for military training because I showed potential. I never knew my parents. I never had friends. I was made into a weapon. That sounds lonely. It was. It is. Hana looked at her hands. The wish tradition started by accident. Years ago, I captured a human ship. One of the survivors, an old man, asked if he could speak to me before he died. I was curious, so I allowed it. He did not beg for his life. He asked me to listen to a story about his daughter. When he was done, he thanked me and went to his death peacefully. That changed you. It made me curious. I wanted to understand what humans valued, what they wished for when everything else was gone. So I started the tradition. Over the years, I have heard hundreds of wishes, thousands. Hana met his eyes. But no one ever asked for me. They asked for things I could give. Never for me as I am. Do-hyun felt something shift in his chest. Pity, maybe. Or understanding. You were lonely, and you did not even know it. Hana's expression flickered. For just a moment, she looked vulnerable, almost fragile. Then the mask returned. Perhaps. It does not matter now. You are here. I am bound to you. We will figure out what that means together. Outside the window, the stars burned cold and distant. Somewhere out there, the war continued. Ships fought and died. People suffered and grieved. But in this small room, on this enemy ship, two people from different worlds sat together in silence, trying to understand what had begun between them. I should hate you, Do-hyun said softly. You have killed so many of my people. Yes, and your people have killed many of mine. Hana tilted her head. Do you hate me? Do-hyun thought about it carefully. He thought about the friends he had lost, the ships he had watched burn, the years of fear and grief. He thought about the cold commander who had destroyed so much. Then he looked at the woman sitting across from him, the one with the sad eyes in the lonely room and the scars that told stories of pain. "No," he admitted. "I do not hate you. I do not understand you yet, but I do not hate you." Hana smiled again, that small, almost invisible smile. "That," she said, "is a beginning." Word traveled fast across the stars. Within days, both sides of the war knew what had happened on the Crimson Dawn. The Valari whispered about their great commander, who had bonded with prey. The humans argued about the soldier who had somehow survived the Collector. On the Valari High Council, old leaders gathered in dark chambers and spoke of disgrace. Commander Yunhana had been their greatest weapon. Now she was broken, polluted by human weakness. On human stations and ships, people debated the truth. Some called Park Dohan a hero who had found a way to neutralize the enemy. Others called him a traitor who had given himself to the monster who had killed their friends. But on the Crimson Dawn, none of this noise reached Do-hyun and Hana. They existed in their own small world, learning about each other piece by piece. Hana taught Do-hyun about Valari history. Her people had once been peaceful, she explained. Thousands of years ago, they have been scholars and artists. But a great war had changed them. The survivors had learned that only strength mattered. Only power kept you alive. They had built an empire on this belief, conquering world after world. "We forgot how to be soft," Hana said one evening, staring out at the stars. Softness was weakness. Weakness meant death. So we cut it out of ourselves, generation after generation. "That sounds terrible," Do-hyun said. "It was necessary. Or so we believed." She turned to look at him. "Your people are different. You fight, but you also laugh. You kill, but you also love. You hold both things inside you at once. We do not understand how this is possible. Maybe that is why you cannot defeat us." Hannah's eyes narrowed. Perhaps we simply have not tried hard enough yet." Do-hyun showed her human things. He played music from his personal device, songs he had loved since childhood. Hannah listened with intense focus, her expression shifting in ways he was learning to read. Confusion, interest, something that might have been sadness. "This is beautiful," she admitted after one song, a slow melody about lost love. "It makes me feel things I do not have words for." That is the point of music. The Valari have songs too, but they are about victory and conquest. They do not make you feel this way. She was quiet for a moment. "Your species is dangerous, Park Do-hyun. Not because you are strong, because you make others feel things." Their fragile peace was shattered 2 weeks later. Admiral Kang Yuna came aboard the Crimson Dawn with an inspection team. She was human, or had been once. 40 years ago, she had believed that humanity would lose the war. She had defected to the Valari, given them information, helped them destroy human ships. Now she commanded her own fleet and served the Empire with cold loyalty. She was tall for a human, with gray hair and sharp eyes. She walked like a Valari, moved like a Valari, thought like a Valari. The only human thing about her was her face. "Commander Yun," Kang Yuna said, standing in Hannah's chambers. Her voice dripped with false respect. "The Council has concerns. A human living aboard your flagship. A bonding with prey. These are disturbing reports." "They are true reports," Hana replied calmly. "The bonding was not planned, but it happened according to our ancient laws. Laws can be changed." Kang Yuna smiled, showing too many teeth. "The Council is discussing it now. They believe you may be compromised, that this human has somehow weakened you. I am not weakened." "Then prove it." Kang Yuna turned to look at Do-hyun, who stood in the corner of the room. Kill him. Right now. Show the council that you are still the commander they trusted. The room went cold. Hannah did not move. You know I cannot do that, she said quietly. The bonding prevents it. Then you are compromised. Kang Yuna's smile grew wider. The council will be interested to hear this. After she left, Hannah sat in silence for a long time. Do-hyun watched her, unsure what to say. She wants your position, he finally offered. Obviously. Hannah's voice was tired. She has wanted it for years. Now she has a reason to take it. I gave her that reason by bonding with you. I'm sorry. Hannah looked up at him surprised. Why are you sorry? You did not plan this. Neither did I. Still, I have caused you problems. You have caused me many things. Hannah stood and walked to the window. Problems, confusion, questions I cannot answer. But also, she paused, searching for words. When I am with you, I feel something I have not felt since I was a child. Before the military took me. Before they made me into what I am. What do you feel? Hope. She said the word like it was foreign, strange on her tongue. I do not know why. You are weak and soft and dying soon like all humans. You should not give me hope. But you do. 3 days later, the Valari execution fleet arrived. 12 ships emerged from hyperspace. Surrounding the Crimson Dawn, the communication screen flickered to life, showing a face that Do-hyun recognized. Kang Yuna, now wearing the uniform of a High Admiral. Commander Yunhana, she announced, you have been found guilty of betraying the Empire through an illegal bonding with an enemy species. The sentence is death. For you and for the human who corrupted you. Hannah stood before the screen, still as stone. The council has decided this? I have decided this. Kang Yuna's voice was filled with cold satisfaction. The council gave me authority to handle the matter as I saw fit. And I have seen fit to end you. The communication cut off. Around the Crimson Dawn, the execution fleet began to move into attack position. Hannah turned to Do-hyun. For the first time, he saw something like fear in her silver eyes. I cannot protect you if I am dead, she said. And I will not let you die. What do we do? Hannah's fear faded, replaced by something harder. Determination. We fight, she said. And then we run. The Crimson Dawn shook as the first shots hit its shields. Alarms filled the corridors. Crew members ran in every direction, some toward battle stations, others toward escape pods. Chaos had come to the great ship. Hannah moved through the halls like a ghost, pulling Do-hyun behind her. She had put on new armor, plain and black, without the marks of her rank. She was no longer Commander Yunhana of the Valari Empire. She was just Hannah now, a fugitive running for her life. Some of my crew will remain loyal, she explained as they ran. But many will not. Kang Yuna has promised rewards to anyone who kills us. We cannot trust anyone. They turned a corner and nearly ran into 3 Valari soldiers. The soldiers raised their weapons, hesitated for just a moment when they saw Hannah's face, and that moment was enough. Hannah moved faster than Do-hyun's eyes could follow. 3 quick strikes, and the soldiers were on the ground, unconscious. You could have killed them, Do-hyun said. They were following orders. They are not evil, just obedient. Hannah took his hand again. This way. The shuttle bay. More fights followed. More soldiers who had chosen loyalty to the Empire over loyalty to their commander. Hannah defeated them all, but each fight slowed them down. And somewhere behind them, Kang Yuna's forces were boarding the ship. They reached the shuttle bay, just as a squad of enemy soldiers burst through a side door. Do-hyun had never fought in close combat before. He was a tactical officer, trained for screens and strategies, not blades and blood. But something took over. Maybe it was fear. Maybe it was the need to protect the woman beside him. He grabbed a weapon from a fallen soldier and fired at the attackers. His hands shook. His aim was terrible, but he hit 2 of them, enough to create an opening. What he did not see was the soldier behind him. Raising a blade, Hana screamed something in her language and threw herself between Do-hyun and the attacker. The blade meant for his back sliced across her side instead. Purple blood splattered the floor. Hana killed the attacker with her bare hands. Then she fell to her knees. Hana. Do-hyun caught her before she hit the ground. No. Stay awake. Stay with me. The shuttle, she gasped. Get me to the shuttle. He half-carried, half-dragged her across the bay. A small shuttle waited there, sleek and fast. Do-hyun pushed Hana inside and sealed the door behind them. Through the window, he could see more soldiers running toward them. The shuttle's controls were unfamiliar, but Hana's voice guided him through the launch sequence. Her words were weak, fading, but she would not let him fail. The shuttle burst out of the crimson dawn and into the chaos of space. Enemy ships fired at them, but the shuttle was small and fast. Do-hyun flew like a madman, dodging beams of light, spinning through debris. He had never been a good pilot. Today, he became one. When they finally escaped the immediate danger, Do-hyun set the shuttle to automatic and rushed back to Hana. She lay on the floor, pressing her hands against the wound in her side. Purple blood seeped through her fingers. Her silver eyes were dim, barely open. That was stupid, Do-hyun said, tears burning his eyes. Why did you do that? Why did you take that blade from me? Because you would have died. Hana's voice was a whisper. And I could not let that happen. I am not worth dying for. You are worth more than you know. She coughed, and purple blood appeared on her lips. Park Do-hyun, you asked me once why humans are so hard to conquer. I think I understand now. Tell me later. Right now, I need to stop this bleeding. Listen. Her hand grabbed his wrist with surprising strength. Your species is irrational. You hope when there is no reason to hope. You love when love only brings pain. You sacrifice yourselves for each other without thinking. Her grip weakened. These things make no sense to us. We calculate. We measure. We choose the logical path. But you follow your hearts. Even when your hearts lead you to death. Hana, please stop talking. Save your strength. The Empire is dying. Her eyes closed. Our birth rates have fallen for centuries. Our culture is too rigid. We cannot change. We cannot adapt. We are breaking. A small smile crossed her face. But humans are different. You bend without breaking. You change and grow. You will outlast us, Park Do-hyun. Your species will still be dancing among the stars when mine is dust and memory. Then, help us. Do-hyun found a medical kit in the shuttle and pressed healing patches against her wound. Survive this. Help us understand your people. Help us end this war. There is a place. Hana's voice was so quiet, he could barely hear it. A moon in the outer systems. The Lari who want peace hide there. They reject the Empire. They dream of something different. She opened her eyes one more time. Take me there. Maybe. Maybe we can build something new. How do I find it? Hana whispered coordinates. Do-hyun entered them into the shuttle's navigation system. The stars shifted as the ship changed course. Hana, Do-hyun said, I need to tell you something. What? He knelt beside her, holding her cold hand in his. I think I wished for you long before I met you. I just did not know it. Hana's smile grew a little wider. That is the most human thing you have ever said. Then her eyes closed, and she went still. Do-hyun sat beside her through the long journey, watching the stars pass by the window. He did not sleep. He did not eat. He just held her hand and prayed to whatever gods might be listening. She was still breathing. Barely, but still. That was enough. That was hope. The sanctuary moon was beautiful. It hung in space like a blue and green jewel, covered in forests and oceans that no human had ever seen. The shuttle descended through white clouds, and Do-yoon saw towers rising from the trees below, elegant and old, built by Valari who had chosen a different path. They were waiting for him when he landed. Dozens of Valari, but different from the ones he had known. They did not wear military armor. Their clothes were soft and colorful. Some of them even smiled. "You brought Commander Yun," one of them said, stepping forward. He was old, his violet skin marked by age, his silver eyes gentle. "We have waited for her for a long time." "She is hurt," Do-yoon said. "She needs help." They took Hannah to a healing center unlike anything Do-yoon had ever seen. Light and sound and technology beyond his understanding. For 3 days, he sat outside her room, refusing to eat or sleep, waiting. On the 4th day, she woke up. Do-yoon rushed to her side. She looked weak, smaller than before, but her eyes were clear and bright. "You found it," she said. "You found the sanctuary. Your coordinates were good." Hannah looked around the room at the gentle light and growing plants and open windows. "I heard stories about this place when I was young. I heard stories about this stories about this place when I was young. A legend about Valari who had rejected the Empire. I never believed it was real. It is real, and they were waiting for you. For me?" Hannah seemed genuinely confused. "Why?" The old Valari from before entered the room. He bowed his head to Hannah with deep respect. "Commander Yun Hannah, the Collector, the most famous warrior in the Empire." He paused. "We have watched you for years. We saw your wish tradition. We saw you searching for something you could not name. We knew someday you would find your way to us." "You want me to lead you," Hannah said. "It was not a question. We want you to help us. The sanctuary has grown, but we are still small. The Empire hunts us when it can. We need someone who understands war. Someone who can protect us while we build something new." The old Valari smiled. "Someone who has learned that strength and softness can exist together." Hannah looked at Do-yoon. He nodded. "I will try," she said. 6 months passed. The sanctuary grew. Do-yoon became a bridge between worlds. He traveled back to human space, carrying messages of peace. At first, no one believed him. They thought it was a trap. But slowly, carefully, trust began to form. Hannah grew stronger. She trained the sanctuary's defenders, but she also learned new things: art, music, the joy of sitting quietly and watching the sun set. She was still learning to be soft, and it was hard, but she did not give up. And then Kang Yuna found them. Her fleet appeared in the sky like a dark cloud. Dozens of ships ready to destroy everything the sanctuary had built. She sent a message to the moon below. "Young Hannah, you cannot hide forever. Surrender to human, and I will make your death quick. Refuse, and I will burn your little dream to ash." Hannah stood on the highest tower of the sanctuary, watching the ships gather. Do-yoon stood beside her. "We cannot fight that many ships," she said. "No," Do-yoon agreed. "But maybe we do not have to fight." He had an idea, a crazy, human idea. He asked Hannah to broadcast his voice to every ship in the sky, both Valari and any human vessels within range. Then he spoke. "My name is Park Do-yoon. I am a human tactical officer. 6 months ago, I was captured by Commander Yun Hannah, the greatest enemy my people had ever faced. I expected to die. Instead, I learned something that changed everything." He paused, gathering his thoughts. "The Valari are not monsters. They are people like us, trapped in a culture that taught them to forget how to feel. But they can remember. I have seen it. I have seen Valari laugh at human jokes. I have seen them cry at human music. I have seen them choose mercy when their laws demanded cruelty. Static crackled across the communication channels. This war has lasted 12 years. Millions have died on both sides. And for what? Neither side is winning. Neither side can win. We are just bleeding each other dry while the universe watches. He looked at Hana, standing proud and strong beside him. Commander Yun Hana betrayed her empire because she found something more important than conquest. She found hope. She found the possibility of a future where Valari and humans are not enemies. That future is not guaranteed. It will be hard and painful and full of mistakes. But it is possible. He turned back to the ships in the sky. The fleet above us was sent to destroy that possibility. To murder hope. I am asking you, all of you, human and Valari, to choose differently. Choose hope. Choose a future. Choose to be more than your history. Silence. Then a human ship broke formation from Kang Yuna's fleet. It was Captain Beek Jisoo of the battleship Morning Star. She had lost her brother to Valari weapons. She had every reason to hate. This is Captain Beek, she broadcast. I am standing down. I will not fire on the sanctuary. Other human ships followed. Then, to everyone's shock, Valari ships began to defect. Officers who had grown tired of war. Soldiers who had heard stories about the sanctuary and wondered if they were true. Kang Yuna screamed orders to attack, but her fleet was falling apart around her. In the end, she fled with only 3 ships, back to an empire that would probably execute her for failure. The war did not end that day. Treaties take time. Trust takes longer. But something had shifted in the universe. A crack had appeared in the wall between species. That night, Do-hyun and Hana stood together on a hill overlooking the sanctuary. The moons were rising, 3 of them, painting the sky in silver and gold. You changed everything, Hana said. With a few words. I just told the truth. She turned to face him. She was wearing new armor now, plain and simple, without marks of rank. But she had also learned to wear other things. A flower in her hair, given by a child in the sanctuary. A soft smile that reached her silver eyes. Park Do-hyun, she said. What do you wish for now? He thought about everything that had happened. The station, the wish, the blood and fear and running. The long nights talking about their different worlds. The moment she had taken a blade meant for him. He took her hand. Same thing as before, he said. You, always you, Hana laughed. It was. A real laugh, full and bright, echoing across the hills. No Valari had laughed like that in 1,000 years. Then you have me, she said. Forever. They stood together as the moons rose higher. 2 people from different worlds, bound by something stronger than war or hate or history. The universe was vast and cold and dangerous. But it was also full of possibility. And sometimes, a single wish could change everything.